Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrecht and Tommy Kester.
Hey there, everybody. Jacob Albrecht, Tommy Kester here. This is Sports Daily, ready to get you and your week started right. Welcome into the program. Glad to be here. IHOP hotline is open, 869-1240. Of course, brought to you by IHOP. You can visit IHOP. Try the new If Movie-inspired menu flavors like pairing any meal with an unbelievable blue soda pop. We will have giveaways for you today. Lots of fun stuff. A lot of stuff to get to. We are entering that time of year where it's a little bit, different maybe in the format. You go through most of the year and you're talking football and college basketball, and we spend the vast majority of our time on that. We spread our wings a little bit now as the Royals continue their season that we've been waiting for a little while. We're watching a divisional race. The Royals now a game and a half back of Cleveland after matching Cleveland's 3-game win streak, a sweep of the team that we thought they should sweep. They get it done. We'll talk about that. NBA playoffs. Look, whether you're watching or not, it is interesting in a lot of ways. So we will touch on that. There was a major golf tournament over the weekend. Another Chiefs player is arrested. Players, I guess I should say. Just, par of the course here. Tommy, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm good. Happy Monday. Glad to be here today. I know we've got obviously a lot to jump into from a busy weekend. I was locked into baseball this weekend, locked into the Royals, locked into the PGA Championship over the weekend. A lot to get to, so looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, let's look at the PGA Championship, I think, first, because it was unusual circumstances, certainly throughout a lot of it, because, Scotty Scheffler, as we came on the air Friday morning, got arrested. That's right, Scotty Scheffler got arrested. And that was a wild story, and he answers with a pretty good round, really, on Friday. And then on Saturday, it kind of fell apart on him, and then he got back on track Sunday, but it was not enough. Xander Schauffele gets his first major win. That's a Wichita Open guy. It's crazy, Tommy, to see all of these names from those early years I was here covering, the AirCap Classic, I think as it was called then, and now into the Wichita Open. And we're seeing all of these guys be the best dudes on tour. And that, as that tournament is coming up here real quick, is what I always take away from these. But again, here we go. And I don't know. I thought, when you got to hit a birdie putt on your final hole to win the tournament, that's a good tournament, right? This was a really nice tournament with all kinds of good factors. The added drama with Scheffler, all of it made for really an entertaining major.
Yeah, it really did. And, if you are a professional golfer, you dream of these things. You dream of the 72nd hole in a major championship, making a birdie putt to win the tournament. Like, it's the same thing as if you were a professional baseball player coming up to the plate, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, to win the game. Same thing if you're a quarterback, the 2-minute drill to go down and win a game for your team. It's the same thing. But the thing about professional golf, or golf in general, is that it is 100% individual. It is 100% only on your shoulders and what you do to make it happen. Xander Schauffele, I think, had been, kind of given that title as the best current golfer to never win a major. And he got that major victory yesterday, and well-deserved for him. He was able to get out in front early in the tournament, kind of be able to keep that, that lead. I know he shared it with Colin Morikawa after the third round on Saturday, but he was able to go out there and really be able to, just make the birdies when he needed to. Bryson DeChambeau had a great final round, but Schauffele was able to make that putt on the 72nd hole. And here we go. Schauffele's a major champion. Pretty fun to watch.
I think the tour's in a really good place. Of course, this is the first time that I bet Scheffler. We had our experiment. And so, after he was arrested, I was like, I'm going to bet him now. And then it doesn't come through.
But hey, can we talk about the fact that, he finished top 10
I know.
After being
After
arrested
his bad
on
Saturday.
Friday, you know, like
Yeah.
the guy goes, you know, spends like 3 hours behind bars.
That doesn't pay though. Like they
I
don't
know.
give me my money for that. It's fine. I think that this honestly I hate the circumstances of which it happened. There was a tragedy involved. Outside of the tragedy, though, the fact that all this happened will, I think, enhance Scheffler's hold on golf right now. And I think long-term and big picture, this will catapult him maybe to another level of stardom. Because now everybody saw that story. There are a lot of people that saw that story and were interested in that story that don't have a clue who Scottie Scheffler was before that story came down. And so, that's sort of what it takes. That's what Tiger Woods became. Tiger Woods became relevant, not just to golf fans, but to literally everybody. It's what Caitlin Clark has done. I think Caitlin Clark, Steph Curry, it doesn't happen very often. And it doesn't always have to be like the best of all time or anything either. It just has to be like who captivates the entire country. Johnny Manziel did that in college football. I'm just trying to think of different sports, where we've seen this happen. Barry Bonds in his home run chase did that, certainly. I think Scheffler has a chance to do this. Again, it's not going to be to the level of Tiger Woods. That will be unattainable. But I do think, he's in documentaries now. And I observed this last night after the fact. I had two moms who would not, I don't think otherwise be watching any golf, talking about what happened just as a news item, right? Oh, did you see that? And then it got brought up about, him saying he'd leave the Masters for his kid and just sort of generating that buzz around him as a personality. Because then when he at least goes into the majors, he's going to have all these people rooting for him now. Maybe that before Friday had no idea even who he was. And I think that's so good for golf because what's going to make me watch is a very casual golf fan. And I watch and I'm in and out and I'm dabbling in these major tournaments anyway. That's my golf viewing. But if I have this in my head that it's like Scheffler versus the world or whatever, that's going to make me watch more. It just is. And I think we may be getting there. And I think this could enhance that, honestly.
Well, that's what the wild thing is about Scottie Scheffler is that he's not attention seeking at all, but he gets all the attention on him. If you watch him, I watched the Full Swing documentary on Netflix, season 1, there's basically an entire episode about Scottie and his wife. It was before they had their baby, obviously. But just very unassuming, very just, kind of everyday average family. And if you looked at them and you saw Scottie on the street, there's nothing really imposing about him. There's nothing really that strikes anything in you that would say, oh, this guy is a force to be reckoned with in the world of professional golf. But I think that's what makes him so appealing because he's not out to find that spotlight. It's not that he's going to try to get the attention. And I think that honestly, for sure, you don't want to have that kind of attention that happened on Friday. But even if it was positive attention, I think that Scottie would say, you know what, I don't really care. That's okay. Not really why I'm out here, but I think that makes him that much more interesting. And honestly, I mentioned this on Friday, it didn't matter. And as happy as I am for Xander Schauffele, and I really am, because he had been battling to try to get a major for a while now, as happy as I am for Xander, I said it on Friday, the attention would still be on Scottie Scheffler. And here we are Monday morning talking about Scottie.
That's all we've talked about. And again, that's good for golf. That's what golf needs right now. That's what every sport needs, by the way. It's what, Caitlin Clark is doing the same thing. You're making people pay attention that would not normally pay attention. Scottie Scheffler is not going to make golf nuts watch or not watch tournaments. I'll consider you one of those. You're going to watch.
I'm going to watch it regardless.
No matter who is involved, you'll watch. I won't. But I'll probably watch the majors. I'll tune in and out. If it's close and it's going to come down to 18, I'm probably watching that. It's the people that would never watch, right? But we're watching when Tiger Woods was playing. And Tiger still has this effect, by the way. His last major win, that emotional, my wife and I were locked in on that. My wife has not watched 1 second of golf since then, but she wanted to see that because you don't want to miss out on the cultural phenomenon that is whatever it is. It's that way. Look at the NBA finals right now. Okay, the NBA is about to go through a stretch, and I've come around to this, by the way. Sometimes parity isn't always the best thing. The NBA is going to have its 6th champion in 6 years this year. I will be curious to see how that resonates with people. You know, we went through, you want to talk about yin and yang. We had, you know, like every year it was the Warriors and the Cavs. And then it goes to this, where every year we're going to have a different champion. And I'm curious to know what that does for people, because I would imagine that more casual fans were involved in, you know, Warriors Cavs than will be involved in Timberwolves Celtics, which is just a guess.
I don't know.
We'll
I mean,
see.
I do think it broadens things out. I mean, it does bring.
It's better
different
for the
people
fan
into
bases
it.
of those teams,
Sure.
but I don't know if it's better for that. You know, it's not like water cooler talk. I don't think anybody's going to sit around at the office when that time comes to ask about game 2 of T-Wolves Celtics. I don't think. I could be wrong about that, and we'll see. The numbers won't lie. Whereas if it was Steph versus LeBron round 4 or whatever, like people kind of are talking about that. And I'm not saying it's a good thing if you're an actual fan. Like if you're a true, like you don't want to see that. I didn't want to see it. I used to rail it. It drove me nuts. That's why I didn't at the time. Honestly, I think it's what turned me away from the NBA. And it was at the same time that college basketball was becoming a bigger time, a part of my life. And so all of those things, it's like, well, I'm wasting my time. Like, I'm not going to watch regular season basketball. I know the Warriors are just going to be right there. Like, I know how this ends, right? Now, there's never been more parity, but it's hard to get me back because, it's hard to get me back to lock in because I just, like, I need that. Like, I need the reason that I cannot miss tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, like last night, when there's a comeback, and we'll get into it, when the T-Wolves are doing what they're doing in that one individual game, it's like, all right, I better get on this. Like, this is a big deal. And so you jump in. But as far as appointment television, Scotty Scheffler this weekend became appointment television. It's too bad that his Saturday fell apart. Because if his Saturday didn't fall apart, everybody would have been locked into Sunday. Everybody would have been locked into Sunday because of what happened.
Yeah, and you go through the way that his Friday played out. We were on the air, when he teed off initially and had left the jail and, all of that, which just still seems so surreal to talk about. I was watching him even after we went off the air. I had him on and I thought to myself, he's going to go low today. Like it's going to be incredible. The fact that he didn't really even get a chance to warm up. He was in a jail cell. Sounded like he ate like a couple bites of eggs and bacon, before he went and took the tee box. And, I thought to myself, man, he might break the course record today. Now, he didn't end up doing that, but he had an incredible round, I'm sure, basically fueled on adrenaline. And then when everything it sounded like caught up to him on Saturday, he even admitted after the tournament was over how tired he was, more tired than typically he would be, after regular tournaments. Everything kind of caught up to him on Saturday. It would have been really easy to kind of pack things up and say, I'm out of contention at this point. I had a bad Saturday. I'm not going to win the PGA Championship. He found his way into the top 10, and
Yep.
it's
Robot mode.
It's remarkable. And that's where, I made a joke about it on my social media, saying the guy literally spent like 2 or 3 hours behind bars, still finishes with a top 10 in a major. If I sneeze too hard, I'm basically out for like 3 weeks. I can't golf, for a while. Like we're not the same. It's remarkable when you kind of had that, like, we talk about it with Patrick Mahomes all the time. Tom Brady had this. Tiger Woods has this, where just like when they are in their prime, they're locked in and the mental takes over and it leads everything else. And you said robot mode. That's exactly what it is.
It's fun to see. It will be more fun as the drama because he just doesn't have any, right? He doesn't have any drama. This gave him a little juice, right? Gave it a little life. Now people at least know who he is. And on these majors, you kind of tune in and, as he does things like say he'll leave the Masters for the birth of his kid, he'll get more casual fans that don't care. And then they see he's on a leaderboard and they're like, okay, let's watch Scotty Scheffler. And he has a documentary about it. Like all of this stuff, it's going to enhance it. And it's good for golf. It is what golf has missed dearly since Tiger left. And if golf ever wants to get anywhere remotely close to what it was then, You got to have that.
You also had a really jam-packed and heavy with stars leaderboard.
The golf
on
itself
Sunday
was incredible,
right? So
great.
Of course,
yes.
Schauffele wins. Then you've got Bryson DeChambeau, and there's all of the the last couple of years of PGA versus Live and all of that. And Bryson's kind of been one of the guys on the forefront of Live Golf. He was right there. Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland was in the mix. There were really high profile, I would dare say, the stars of golf coming out on a Sunday down the stretch in a major championship. It was everything that you could ask for.
It's perfect, and it will have to last. But the jam-packed leaderboard is great once you get there. Like once you get there, right? Once we get to Sunday, and it's going to be great no matter what. What I'm saying is, like, to bring it back to a cultural event, you have to have that dude in golf, right? You have to have him. It doesn't matter how many great players there are. Golf is, I think, in a better place top to bottom than when Tiger Woods was dominating it. I think there are more great golfers now, but there's not Tiger Woods. There hasn't been.
The field is deeper.
The field is way deeper.
And you're always wanting
but
to
it's
crown,
been missing its alpha.
You're always wanting to crown who that next alpha is going to be. It's the same thing in football. Who's the next Tom Brady? Who's the next Patrick Mahomes?
We've been,
it's been Spieth and Rory and, Justin Thomas was there, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, like all these names, they're all still there, but nobody has grabbed the title of that number one alpha, maybe like for maybe a stretch of golf.
For bits of
time. But not long lasting. And I don't know if that's going to be Scotty Scheffler or not. I don't know if it's going to be a forever type thing. Like, and I think that's,
how old is he?
27, 28, something like that. I mean, he's got a ways to go. I don't think we'll ever see the run like we saw from Tiger, ever again. I just don't think, because of the parity in the world of professional golf.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen. But when you've got all these players jockeying for the position, it does make it that much more exciting. And then, oh, by the way, there are a ton of players out there that would also like to stake their claim on that didn't even make the cut in the PGA Championship. Jon Rahm is one of them, so there are so many different golfers that are there that would love to have that title.
You cannot, he always has to be in the mix. He's always got to be the number one for this to work. Always. Just can't ever waver from that, right? And so you have to have that. And it just, like, for me, it looks like, and I don't remember all this stuff, like Spieth was the one that everybody really thought might be it. And of course that hasn't happened. Rory had the personality. He was lovable, but he wasn't winning nearly enough. And so you have like little bits, he had the beef between DeChambeau, but that's pretty in the weeds. And like, you got to, Scheffler's easy. He just keeps winning and doing things that gets casual people to know who he is. Because I would be willing to bet right now that if I always use my wife as an example because she didn't watch anything sports-wise anymore, maybe some football. That's it. If I asked her who DeChambeau or Brooks Koepka or Dustin Johnson or Jon Rahm or Rory McIlroy, if I asked her who any of these people were, she'd be like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, you're speaking a foreign language. But if I ask her who Scotty Scheffler is, she's probably going to know now. And that's what you have to have. He's got to become appointment viewing for his golf has to be there, right? But then the other things, and this just adds a little bit to it. This documentary adds a little bit to it. And all of these little things. Why did the Kelceys become so popular? Right? It's not because they're two Hall of Fame football players, one a tight end and one a center. They've always been that. What's made them so popular the last couple of years? Jason Kelce got a documentary. Travis Kelce's dating a pop star. Okay, now everybody's locked in on the Kelceys. They have the number one podcast, like all this stuff. You got to have just a little of the other. It can't just be about the golf. There have been lots of great golfers since Tiger Woods. There's never been a cultural impact maker like Tiger Woods. And Scotty Scheffler's not going to be that. Nobody will be, ever. Again, I don't think. But he can be he can be by far the closest thing to it at 27 years old. If he keeps going into robot mode like this, and he's at the top of every leaderboard, and little things outside of golf keep him in the headlines, he'll get there. I can't believe that we just spent an entire first segment talking about golf, Tommy.
Yeah.
That's
not only
what
talking
he's
about golf,
got.
talking about the guy who didn't win the tournament. Congratulations, Xander Schauffele. That's great. I'm really happy for you. Everybody is talking about Scotty.
For a decade, we did this with Tiger Woods or longer. I didn't care who else won if it wasn't Tiger. It was what about Tiger? What did Tiger do wrong? How did Tiger not win this? That's what we got to have if golf's going to ever get remotely close. And I think Scheffler's the closest we've had.
If it takes, Scotty Scheffler going to jail to keep him from winning a tournament, then that should tell you all you need to know about the way that he plays golf.
That's right. Here we go. We might have it. All right, we'll continue our tour around the sports world. Mention the insanity of the NBA playoffs. It surprises me, but it shouldn't. This just happens every year. We haven't had a repeat champion, Tommy, make it out of the second round in 6 years. Isn't that wild? 869-1240, the IHOP hotline's open for you. We'll give away some HTO later in the show. Lots of fun stuff coming. Royals get the sweep we said they needed to get, and more. It's Sports Daily. Oh, yeah, and another Chiefs player arrested. What an off season. We'll be right back with more.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy. We have more than 25 flavors. Come try them all for free.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Sports Daily here on this Monday. Tommy Castor, Jacob Albrock, Jed Chambers producing the program. Of course, the IHOP hotline is open the rest of the way for you at 869-1240. NBA playoffs, of course, continued yesterday. A couple game sevens in the books. And, we talked about it before the break, Jacob. The fact that there are no repeat champions in the NBA over the last 6 seasons tells you a lot about the teams that are currently moving on and kind of where things are headed in the future.
Is it a good thing? That's where I guess I'm stuck.
I think it is. I mean, I'm always a fan of spreading that wealth,
too.
around in the NBA. I get really,
I am
I
too,
get
but it's
fatigued
not
and burnt out.
it's not drawing me in. You know what I mean? Like I guess the alternative doesn't really draw you in until the finals, so it's better. But like, I have been a Mavs fan forever, and I'm watching, and I'm but it's kind of like and maybe it's just never going to happen again because there's so many things going on. So maybe it is just at the moment, kind of in the background but we had interesting things happen. That Knicks Pacers series was weird because every game seemed to be a blowout. What happened last night was fantastic with the T-Wolves and Nuggets. No offense to Nuggets fans of the Nuggets, but that kind of a comeback. Anthony Edwards is kind of taking his reign. Now I'm curious. Like, are we Celtics Pacers? I mean, I guess if the Pacers make it interesting, I'll probably jump in. I do think T-Wolves Mavs is really interesting because you have 2 star players now who haven't had one before, in Anthony Edwards and Luka. Like, they get to go head to head. That's pretty interesting. I guess this is a good thing. It's what I've wanted forever, and we're getting it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I think it probably is a good thing. I agree. It wouldn't be a bad thing to get some at least repeat, like Denver to the finals this year, maybe. I don't know. It's a little trickier with all new every year. Like,
I don't know. I do think it's really fun though to see these players that have not been there before, and in a lot of cases are a lot younger, try to lead their teams to championships. I mean, because I mentioned, like, I get fatigued, I get worn out when it's the same players year in and year out. I absolutely was not locked in at all when Golden State had their dynasty. I wasn't. And I knew that they were great, but I knew that they were going to crush everybody every single time that they played. So why would I want to watch that? Why would I want to sit down and enjoy that? So I really was not locked in at all when that was going on, but it's fun to watch guys like Luka who haven't been there before. Anthony Edwards, who hasn't been there before, lead his team and has kind of been anointed as one of the top stars, not only in the, in the future, but currently in the NBA. It was fun to watch Jalen Brunson try to take the Knicks, to a place that they hadn't been in a long time. Of course, he dealt with a bunch of injuries and broke his hand in that game 7, which is, not a great way to end that series for the Knicks. But it's fun to watch that because these are guys that haven't been there before. And I want to see how they do it. I want to see how they thrive under that pressure.
I do too. I think, honestly, for me, and I always, like, we did this with, I think we're just so distracted now. There's just so many things pulling us away from these things. I think it's probably more that, because you take this trend even like 7-8 years ago, I think we'd be losing our minds with excitement about this. So let's let that happen again. Here, like, the fact that Minnesota is there and Indiana is there should be enough, I think, for the casual fans. The Minnesota sports fan base is as starved as any collectively. The Pacers, when was the last time the Pacers were even close? Realistically close, right? Maybe some of those Ron Artest years, they were very much in the mix, and then you got to go way back after that. So I like it. I'm in. Let's do it. Let's see these series. Let's get a new champion crowned. I think it will be far less exciting for the rest of us if it's the Celtics, because they really don't feel new. It feels like they've been there, right? And so maybe they wear the crown of the bad guy easily here. And I think they will. I think they embrace that a little bit. But that's happening, and you'll get, when do these game ones happen? Let me just take a look here. May 21st, you get the start of the East. That's tomorrow. So the Eastern Conference starts tomorrow, and then you'll alternate days for the most part, with the West starting on Wednesday. We'll try to get in on this. We'll try to get in on this new champion buzz, and all of these things. Boy, it felt like Denver was a shoe-in there for a little bit. They weren't even the 1 seed, and it felt like they were going to be the team, and it just didn't happen for them. I don't look at this today as like what did Denver do wrong? And I know they blew a huge lead last night. To me, it's more about the rise of Anthony Edwards. And I know his offensive game wasn't incredible, but defensively in the second half last night, really collectively, not just him, collectively, that's why Minnesota's are where they are, which is it. When was the last time we saw a defensive juggernaut lead the way? Tommy, like San Antonio?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
That was going to be my first team that I thought of.
That when games wouldn't get to 100 forever in the Tim Duncan dynasty, like I think that's it. I don't think we're forgetting about anybody else. So that's interesting to have that back with them. I'm in. I'll watch it with everybody.
I think about NBA go back to. I mean, you got to go back probably 20 years, maybe when it like the Pistons. Remember when the Pistons team?
Oh God,
in the early 2000s, like they were.
Yes,
they were great defensively. That's really them, and I guess the Spurs. In the last maybe 20 years, that's probably the 2 teams I think about.
Yeah. It's fun. We're going to get us a new champion here in the NBA, and we're going to maybe see some new stars, add to their resumes more or less. Let's take a break. Let's set you up with a giveaway. Some HCO. We'll come back. We'll talk a little Royals baseball, some other news items. Chiefs have another player arrested, Wanya Morris, and a player none of us have ever heard of get arrested. We'll tell you why. Do we care? I don't know. Normally I would say no. Right now, maybe a little bit more. But we'll get into that. Let's give away some HTO here. 869-1240. You can get your hands on a free iced tea, which is good at either the Wichita East or West location, or down in Derby. You can get some free rain coffee, iced, hot, whatever you like. All those fancy coffee drinks people drink out there. We got them all at the Derby location or in East Wichita. One of each. Good luck. First caller right now. 869-1240. We'll come back. A little baseball, little Chiefs here on Sports Daily.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy. have more than 25 flavors. Come try them all for free.
Six nine 1240.
Time to get busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castor alongside you. Jamie wins some free reign coffee and iced tea from HTO. Congratulations to Jamie for that win. This portion of the program brought to you by Crestview Country Club. The pool opens up here pretty quick. Got some pool party. Tommy, you can be at the pool party? We haven't talked about this.
I'm going to try. I don't know if, in fact, my wife and I don't think we've even talked about it yet. So we should probably figure that out.
Yeah, we'll be there. We don't miss many of the pool parties if we can at all avoid it. We spend so much time at that pool at Crestview. That is by far the thing we use the most out of our membership at Crestview. And you can use that. You don't have to even get the golf. Call them. They'll tell you about the memberships and give you access to just that kind of stuff. That and the kids' activities. So give them a call. Tell them we sent you. Golf is, we got the Wichita Open coming up out at Crestview soon, like real soon. Everything is like coming at us in a hurry. Kids are out of school this week. How'd you do with that storm last night? We've had all this really warm, borderline hot weather. We're not acclimated yet. We're sweating our butts off out at soccer this weekend. And then we get the storm last night. That was wild, man. I'm trying to help people. There's an HT Open Hutch, and he's trying to help. And I'm like, yeah, it's coming. And then just like, boom, that thing hit like a ton of bricks up there. So I hope, our friends up there and people that know people up there, everybody's doing okay. Down here, I'm getting pictures right now. We had kind of a shed torn apart at the west location. There's a really cool, my wife just sent this to me. There's a part of the roof of the shed is like, I don't know how, all the way to the other end of the development of businesses.
Wow.
Like that thing flew. I don't know what the distance would be. At least probably 2-3 football fields. The top of that shed flew over there. So I'm like, oh, good. Here comes Mr. Handyman. Like, I got to go figure out how to try to fix a shed. I ain't fixing a shed. My brother and I built that shed in the heat of the summer. It was not a good experience. You build an outdoor shed and you can't drink beer while you're doing it. What's the point? Like, that thing was lopsided, whatever. So I got to get and then eventually we got it fixed and looking good. And now the roof blows off. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, good. What am I going to do? Like, I'm going to go out and fix a shed? Like, what are we doing here? And I got to find a guy. Like, I got to find a guy. If anybody knows how to fix a shed and won't, rake me over the coals, give Jad a call. Give me your information. I'll have you come fix a shed.
The only thing I was really concerned about with the storm, and it really ended up fine where we were at. I mean, we had some wind, but nothing
it had
too bad.
lessened force east. Yeah.
So we're selling our house. We're in the process of doing that. We're gonna move out. We're gonna move to a townhouse for a while. Long story short, and our home inspection is actually going on right now. So like, I'm not at home. I'm in the studio because the home inspection is going on. So I was nervous that we were going to have this major storm roll through with wind damage and things like that. And then the very next morning we have a home inspection. So luckily everything was fine, no issues, no damage, nothing like that. So I do feel, grateful that that didn't happen. But yeah, seeing some pictures from up in Hutch and Newton and kind of in that area. Yeah, it seemed like it got pretty rough up there for a while.
It got real rough and they lost power. Power lines went down. It was bad. I mean, it was, we avoided in our general metro area a tornado, which is always good. Sometimes when you get wind like that, it does, I won't want to say just as much damage, but a lot of damage. So, feeling for those folks up there, it's a nuisance. I get it. It's a pain in the butt. Throws life upside down for a little while. So hopefully everybody's hanging in there, and hopefully everybody down here. We took damage throughout the city. I just said it. We lost the roof of a shed. I mean, it's out there. Weather, I'll tell you, Tommy, weather on a Sunday of a major championship is not convenient for anybody.
Yeah.
Let me just say that.
Can I say, I want to give a shout out. And, I know that obviously you're at 12 News and all of that. A shout out to, I'm guessing it's the weather team. I mean, you tell me, who is in charge of all of that. The control room, I don't exactly know, but doing the split screen, so like
graphic.
I could watch the major championship, which, I mean, obviously I could have pulled it up like streaming or whatever, but
right.
Like that was a really cool way to do it. So people were, not missing that tournament.
Ton of credit to them for real. Cause we try to like, here's the reality for everybody. If there is a tornado, it doesn't matter, right? So you can email angrily all you want, but if there's going to be a severe weather potential event, you might as well have a backup plan to be able to pull that stream up or something. Because if there is a tornado out there, we're not going to leave the air. People might die. And I know you really want to watch your PGA Championship, and I know that the tornado might be up in Hayes, but guess what? Who cares? Like, you got to step back in those moments and be like, you know what? It probably is more important that they keep those folks up there aware of a tornado in their town than me watch Xander Schauffele try to get his first major. I'm sorry. I know that pisses people off, but get over it. It's not going to change.
It shouldn't make people as angry now that there should be other ways for people to consume
I get
that.
annoyed by it too.
I can pull up a stream and be able to watch the final round of the PGA Championship and not have to worry about that. Like, if I really don't care about the weather at all, or it's not impacting me, or it's 3 hours away, technology today makes it to where you should be able to find an alternate way to be able to watch that. So, but I do think that, on that the main channel, the fact that it was split screen for a while, I'm the kind of guy, like, I love watching weather coverage. Like, I'm a weather coverage junkie. So if I can have golf, in one part of the screen and weather in the other, like, I'm a happy camper. I'll be locked into that forever.
I agree with you. A ton of credit to them for pivoting, because, the first one came out of, it's like a tornado. When a tornado warning goes up, that's what triggers. Like when they're wall to wall, it's because there's a tornado warning. And what a tornado warning is, like, if you're watching, it's the red box. And what the red box means is there's a tornado. It's not like there might be, it's like there is one. And there's a few different ways those can get triggered. Either A, train spotter has seen one and they call it in to the National Weather Service, or B, radar in a situation like yesterday, because it was so rainy and there was so much with it, like, you can't always see them. Radar can tell a meteorologist this thing is spinning. Like, there is a real good chance, or there is a tornado. So when those happen, it's like immediately jump on. There's nothing like anybody can do. There's a tornado confirmed. When a warning is happening, there's been a confirmed tornado. So they were able to let that go through, expire, and then quickly pivot. That's not easy to do either.
Yeah.
I wanted to give them. I'm glad you said that, because that is difficult.
I'll give
get
credit
that going like that.
I'll give credit to all of the stations in Wichita because, I mean, of course, providing a huge coverage area. And you look
ABC
at like
has the NBA finals happening, or the NBA playoffs
going
happening.
on. The Indianapolis 500 is happening over
Come on, Mother Nature.
NBC. Like, it was a big Sunday sports afternoon. You've got basketball, golf, and the Indy 500. So they all were dealing with that in some capacity in the afternoon. So credit to them. That's not an easy situation to navigate.
It's never convenient for anybody, right? It's not convenient that I got to go try to fix a shed. It's not convenient that you didn't get to watch golf. It sucks, but we need the rain, I guess. Take it that way. We need the rain, and that rained a ton, man. It rained a lot in that storm last night. So all good. Just have plans, whether it's to get into the basement if there's a tornado, or how I might want to watch whatever it is that I plan on watching when there is a decent chance of severe weather on that day that I'm watching it. Because I can promise and it's always right. It's always the minority with a megaphone and I knew it was coming. I was like, oh God. I told my wife, I was like, let me just check the old work inbox right now, because I bet people are big mad that we've got a tornado on the ground. And it was. And there's a lot of people that are really also kind in there, just wondering, like, get it, totally understand. Any way we could split that out. And they did. And I give them a ton of credit for that. You know what show, Tommy? Like, it's inevitable. Things happen during this particular show, and there is no show that makes people angrier when it gets covered. What would you guess that show is? CBS.
It's got to be 60 Minutes.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Survivor.
Okay.
If I ever need a reminder that show's still really, really popular, and it's inevitable. Whatever night that is that airs, like, it's just like it is rhythmic almost that we're going to get weather events during it, and people get so dang mad about Survivor.
And
which is probably the easiest show to go find anywhere.
And kind of in that same vein, like, I forgot about this show. I forgot that it was still a thing and relevant. Apparently, the finale of American Idol was last night, which I didn't know that was still on TV.
Oh, I don't know.
Because that was a big issue over on ABC, and they're, taken away for tornado coverage and all of that. And it was the finale of American Idol, which I'm like, American Idol is still a thing? I didn't realize that it was.
I guess I knew it was, because sometimes I'll see the clips get fed to me. Like, it's like Lionel Richie, and I don't even know
Luke
who's on
Bryan
there
and Katy Perry apparently are the judges.
Luke Bryan. Yeah, that's my Luke Bryan impression. I don't watch any of them anymore. There's a time we watched The Voice, really liked it. They've got like a bunch of new people on there. And we've entered the stage too, where, like, I don't even know who these people are. Like, they're these like pop superstars. And I'm like, we went to a Cake concert last week. We've entered this stage of life.
We're not up on the current trends.
No. But hope everybody was able to stay safe. Give your meteorologist a break. How about a thank you? They really are out there just keeping people safe. They did for a lot of people last night, just like in their own personal thing. Like, we had that on, and I'm like, oh crap, this thing is gnarly. So we're just trying to help everybody out. 869-1240. We're going to talk a little Royals baseball when we come back on the other side. Chiefs in the news as well for all the wrong reasons once again this offseason. It's all coming in hour number 2. Here we go. Sports Daily coming right back.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy. have more than 25 flavors. Come try them all for free. We have more than 25 flavors. Come try them all for free.